to the deep dive.
Okay.
Picture this for a second. A machine that understands your habits so well, it could organize your kitchen cupboards perfectly, or maybe make everyone in the house their ideal cup of coffee.
Right. Sounds simple, but those kinds of scenarios, they're actually products of something we hear about constantly, artificial intelligence.
Exactly, AI. And that's what this deep dive is all about today. It's a term that gets thrown around, well, everywhere.
It really does. There's a lot of hype, some confusion, maybe even a little bit of fear sometimes.
Yeah.
So our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to cut through that noise.
Yeah, using the sources we've gathered, we're going to try and get a real handle on what AI actually is, how it works, and what it really means for your life now and down the road.
And you might be surprised. AI shows up in places you might not even notice, kind of invisibly working in the background.
Absolutely. So at its heart, artificial intelligence. I mean, the name kind of gives it away, right? It's about machines being artificially given intelligence. Intelligence like ours to do tasks like we do.
And it's not some sort of magic trick. It's built using really complex algorithms, lots of mathematical functions working together.
And the amazing thing, or maybe the slightly unnerving thing, depending on how you look at it, is just how much AI is already around us. It's like in your smartphone's face, unlock.
Or optimizing your car's engine. Curating your social media feed, that's a big one.
Video games, banking systems, even surveillance technology. It's much more woven into our daily lives than I think most people realize.
Okay, so if it's everywhere, the big question is, what does an AI actually do? Like fundamentally.
Right. What are its core skills? To really wrap our heads around that, our sources give us a great kind of classic thought experiment.
Let's use that. Imagine a robot, brand new, just built. And suddenly, boom, it's dropped into the middle of a field it's never seen before.
Okay, a robot in a totally new environment. Unpredictable. Sounds like a tough first day out of the lab.
Definitely. Because think about it, the lighting might be different from the lab, the ground could be uneven, the field's shape is totally unknown.
So how does it cope?
Well, despite all those changes, the AI robot is expected to, still do its job, whatever task it was designed for. And this ability, this capacity to react properly to a new situation, not just what it's seen before, that's what we call generalized learning.
Generalized learning. So it's not just memorizing, it's adapting based on core principles.
Exactly. It's understanding how to apply what it knows to new stuff. It's a huge step beyond just basic programming.
Okay, that makes sense. Adapting is key. But what about making choices? Does it just react or can it, think things through?
Good question. So let's say our robot keeps going and it reaches a fork in the path. A crossroad.
Okay.
One path is smooth, paved. The other is rocky, difficult. The robot needs to figure out which one to take. It has to weigh the options based on its goal, maybe its own limitations.
Ah, okay. So it's assessing the situation.
Precisely. That evaluation, choosing a path based on the input it's getting right then and there, that shows its reasoning ability. Mm-hmm. It's not just reacting anymore, it's analyzing, making a calculated move.
Analyzing, reasoning. Okay. So it adapts, it reasons. Does it hit a wall eventually? Something it just can't handle initially?
It often does in these scenarios. Mm-hmm. So the robot comes to a stream. You can't swim, you can't just walk across.
Right, a real obstacle.
But maybe nearby, there's a plank of wood. It wasn't told how to use the plank for a stream, but it sees the stream, sees the plank, understands the goal is to get across.
And figures out it can use the plank as a bridge.
Exactly. That's the problem-solving skill. It takes the input, the stream, the plank, its goal, and comes up with a novel solution. It uses a tool in a new way.
Got it. So those three things together, generalized learning, adapting to new stuff, reasoning, making logical choices, and problem solving, finding new solutions. That's what makes something artificially intelligent.
That's the core of it, yes. The ability to adapt, reason, and provide solutions, it gives us a solid base.
Okay, a really helpful framework. Now, with that understanding, how do experts actually categorize AI? Because you hear different terms flying around.
Right. The main distinction based on our sources is between two broad types, weak AI and strong AI.
Weak AI sounds less impressive. Is it also called narrow AI?
It is, yes.
Right.
Weak AI or narrow AI. Uh-huh. And it's not necessarily less impressive, just highly specialized. It focuses intensely on one specific job or maybe a very small set of jobs. Think of it like a grandmaster chess player who only plays chess.
Okay, like a specialist.
A perfect example from the sources is AlphaGo, the program that mastered the game Go.
Oh, yeah, beat the world champion, didn't it?
It did, an incredible feat. But AlphaGo is the absolute master of Go and only Go. You couldn't ask it to, say, play poker or drive a car or diagnose a disease. Its intelligence is narrowed to that one complex game.
That makes it very clear. But
Okay.
then what about something like Alexa or Siri? They seem to do lots of different things. Music, questions, smart home feels broader than just go.
That's a really common point of confusion, and it's understandable why people might think that. Alexa seems very versatile. But it's still firmly in the weak AI category. When you ask it to play a song, like play Despacito,
Okay.
it's not understanding music or your mood. It's recognizing keywords play, Despacito, and running a specific program linked to those words. It does what it's been trained to do.
So the key is a training. If you ask it something totally outside its training.
Exactly. It can't handle it.
Yeah.
Ask Alexa the meaning of life, or, how's the traffic from my specific office to my specific home right now if I leave in 10 minutes? Unless it's specifically programmed for that kind of query with real-time data access in that exact way, it can't just figure it out. It operates within its defined programmed limits.
Right. So even complex interactions are based on pre-programmed responses or data lookups for specific types of questions. It's not thinking in a general sense.
Precisely. It's like a very, very sophisticated switchboard operator connecting keywords to actions rather than a general intelligence.
Okay, that clarifies the weak AI side, which naturally leads us to strong AI. This is the one that gets all the attention in movies, right?
Absolutely. Strong AI is, well, it's a whole different beast. This is the AI of science fiction.
So what defines it? What makes it strong?
Our sources describe strong AI as having consciousness, self-awareness, the potential to develop genuine emotions, understand context like humans do, learn any task a human can, and have unpredictable responses because it possesses actual general cognitive abilities.
Ultron in the Avengers, that kind of self-aware, potentially rogue AI.
Ultron is a perfect fictional example, yes. A machine that becomes self-aware develops its own goals, its own will. That's the concept of strong AI.
But crucially,
and this is really important to stress, strong AI, the kind with consciousness and emotions, currently only exists in fiction, as of now anyway. We haven't built anything like that.
Okay, fiction only for now. That's a very important distinction. So we have weak AI, which is real and specialized, and strong AI, which is theoretical and general.
Got it.
Now, this helps clear things up, but there are other terms often tangled up with AI. What about machine learning and deep learning? Are they just synonyms for AI?
Yeah, that's another area where things can get a bit muddled. But the sources lay it out quite nicely. Think of AI, artificial intelligence, as the big overarching goal, the whole field, the grand idea of making machines intelligent.
Okay, AI is the umbrella term, the big dream.
Right. Then machine learning, or ML, is a way to get there. It's a specific approach, a technique within AI.
A technique? How so?
ML is about giving machines the ability to learn from data without being explicitly programmed for every single possibility. Instead of writing rules for every scenario, you feed it tons of examples.
Like teaching it to recognize cats by showing it thousands of cat photos.
Exactly like that. It learns the patterns from the data itself. That's machine learning from experience, essentially.
Okay, so ML is a method to achieve AI by learning from data. Where does deep learning fit in? Is it just more learning?
It's a type of machine learning, a subset, you could say. Deep learning uses structures inspired by the human brain, these things called artificial neural networks with many layers.
The deep refers to the layers in the network.
Precisely. These deep layers allow it to learn much more complex patterns in vast amounts of data. It's particularly good at things like perception and understanding images, speech, natural language, think facial recognition or sophisticated language translation.
So it's nested. AI is the big field. Machine learning is a major way to do AI. And deep learning is a powerful type of machine learning that uses neural networks.
You got it. AI, MLDL, that's the basic hierarchy.
That clears up a lot of the buzzword confusion. Okay, so knowing what AI is, how it works, the types. Let's look ahead. Our sources touch on some pretty startling predictions about where this is all going.
They certainly do. Some big names have made some bold claims. Ray Kurzweil, for instance, a pretty well-known futurist.
Right. What's his prediction?
He predicts that by around the year 2045, we might reach a point he calls the singularity.
The singularity. Sounds dramatic.
It is. It's the idea that AI development could accelerate beyond our control, leading to machines potentially becoming as smart as or even smarter than humans. A point of irreversible technological change for civilization.
Wow. AI matching or exceeding human intelligence. That's a lot to process. And then there's someone like Elon Musk. His predictions seem a bit more personal.
Yeah, Musk talks about the potential for AI implants, merging human minds and bodies with AI.
Implants, like becoming cyborgs.
Essentially, yes, using AI to directly enhance our own cognitive and physical abilities, blurring the line between human and machine to, in his view, keep pace with purely artificial intelligence.
Okay, singularity on one hand, cyborgs on the other. This is definitely stepping into sci-fi territory, even if it's presented as prediction.
It feels like it, doesn't it? But it's important to ground ourselves again. Our sources also emphasize that, well, we still don't fully understand the human brain, right? Consciousness, creativity, emotion, these are still huge mysteries.
True. If we don't get our own intelligence, how can we perfectly replicate or surpass it?
Exactly. So AI still has massive unventured domains, as one source put it, huge unknowns.
And for right now, the focus isn't really on creating Ultron, is it?
Not at all. For now, and likely for the foreseeable future, AI is primarily being developed to work with us, to make tasks easier, faster, more efficient, to augment human capabilities, not replace human consciousness.
So more like advanced tools than independent minds.
That's the current reality. Of course, technology keeps maturing incredibly fast. So ultimately, we can only really wait and watch what the future of AI holds. It's still unfolding.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. We started with what AI actually does, that core ability to adapt through generalized learning, make choices using reasoning, and find solutions via problem solving.
Then we unpack the two main types: the specialized weak AI we see everywhere today, an Alexa or AlphaGo, versus the theoretical, self-aware, strong AI of fiction.
Right. And we clarified how AI relates to machine learning, the technique of learning from data, and deep learning, that subset using brain-inspired networks.
And finally, we touched on those rather mind-bending future predictions like the singularity and AI implants, while remembering the current focus is still on AI assisting humans.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with a pretty profound thought to chew on, based on where things might go.
Indeed. If AI does eventually reach that singularity point, matching or exceeding human intelligence, or if we really do start integrating AI into our minds and bodies,
What happens then? What new questions does that force us to ask about intelligence itself, about consciousness, and maybe most fundamentally, what it even means to be human anymore?